I remember exactly where I left off at. Yo, I gotta get, y'all already know, I'm just starting. I don't be deleting videos, etc., etc., etc. But I'm like, yo, I got these kids. Where would I ever get the money to like be able to move? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta figure something out, etc., etc., etc. So boom, something said, ask them, can they reinstate your Section 8? That's what it said. So I'm like, I got this beautiful house. Like, where am I about to go if they reinstate the Section 8? Like, I don't feel like moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that I'm gonna like? How nice of a house am I gonna get? I got this beautiful house in Staten Island that ain't nobody. This is like not. This doesn't really come like that. So where would I use this Section 8 to go? I don't want to move. And I was like, you know what? Maybe my landlord would take the Section 8, but for some reason I didn't fall through with it. So I know I reached out to the DA and I'm like, can y'all reinstate the Section 8? At first they were saying no, she got to reapply, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Some way, somehow, we got an email and it said the voucher has been reinstated in the date that it was. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, all right. So I know that I wouldn't move to Delaware because I know that, I'm still on my journey and I'm not going to, put myself back in places that doesn't offer me growth. So I'm like, where would I go? Now, I remember somebody bringing up Florida to me like a year and a half ago. And I was like, okay. I said, damn, that's a little far. Fear started to creep up. You gonna go all the way out there? What if somebody gets sick? What if this happened? What if that happened? Fear started to come up, but it was like, yo, I was already working on myself so much that it was like, yo, I know that the only fear that we're born with is the fear of noise and the fear of falling. So it's like anything else, it was like, yo, I was being tortured, you know what I'm saying, to not being tortured, but I was dreaming, a lot of fear-based things. And this was the subconscious just bringing it to the forefront for me to deal with it because I couldn't use fear in this time of making a decision. That's what it was. So it was like, okay, Florida. So now I searched, a couple of places and I seen my house. The house that I'm renting, the house that I'm beginning in, the house that's going to lead to a more beautiful house. But this house is beautiful. And I seen this beautiful house. And I was like, God damn. It was just built too. So I'm like, hold up. I said, they take Section 8 for a house like that? So I called. And I said, hi, how are you? I said, I'm calling in regards to, the place that you have listed. Is it currently for rent? He said, yeah, it is. I said, okay. I said, do you take Section 8 for that? He said, yes. I said, you take Section 8 for that house? He was like, yes, you got your package? I said, yeah, I have my package. He was like, no, do you have your package from your caseworker? Because you got to make an appointment or something like that for it, he said. And I said, she gave me a package, right? So all of these things was happening, y'all, and it was happening fast. It was like once something is meant for you, it's meant for you. And there's nothing that can knock it off, right? So I got the packet way faster than what I was supposed to get it because we supposed to went through a briefing and then she's supposed to give me that packet. But she just emailed me this packet. And once I told him that I got the packet, he was like, you got the packet? He was like, email me the packet. I emails him the packet, okay? No checks. No, and let me tell y'all something. I had 2 evictions on me. And I think they both coming up for the 7 years or they're close to it, but I had 2 evictions on me. So I'm sitting and I'm putting these limits on myself and I'm like, damn, I got these evictions. I got this. I got that. That's what I'm thinking. I get an email later that day. And his secretary was like, Miss Chapman, we're working on your packet now. I said, what the fuck? So now I can't tell that part of the story. Long story short, right? So now they're like, okay, we're working on your packet. Boom. So I'm like, is this shit really going on? Inspection goes on. Then the worker from Section 8 emails me and say, yo, I just received your packet. So I'm like, what the fuck? This shit is really happening right now. I said, yo, this house is so beautiful. Like, it's so beautiful. I was supposed to move here March 1st. No, March 15th I was supposed to move here, but I moved here April 1st. And I'm like, yo, this house is so beautiful. Like, what the freak? So now you have to pay moving and everything, right? You got to pay the security. You have to pay your moving. You have to pay all of that. Don't you know I came here with $350 in my pocket? I ain't pay for nothing. I did not pay for anything. I didn't pay for a security deposit. I didn't pay for a moving truck to move me from New York here. I didn't pay for anything, but the universe or the divine put these people in my path. Put these people in my path that was going to assist me in ways that I wasn't even expecting it to. I remember thinking that I would have to get a U-Haul and take a risk and not even tell U-Haul that I was going that far to Florida and take a risk from New York all the way to Florida, or I was just going to leave my stuff. And I remember people telling me, oh, that thing going to break down. That people going to break that thing going to break down. You going to break down halfway before you get there. But I was so wrapped up on, yo, something is moving me. Something is happening. And I'm not going to miss it. Something is happening. I'm choosing to pick up and leave with 6 kids and no one's truly going to be around to assist me. Something is happening. And when this came into my life, it came into my life with no strings attached. It came into my life and it just, all I had was $350 in my pocket. That's all I had. That's all that I had was $350 in my pocket. But I'm sitting there like, oh, it's going to take this. It's going to take that. Oh, it's going to do this. Oh, it's going to do that. I got to do all of this and I got to do all of that just so I can experience, the country. Whole time I didn't have to do none of that but tune in. I didn't have to do nothing of that but go back to the journey of self, finding self, knowing that you are really the creator of this shit. Knowing that you are really the creator of it, but you have to do the work. It's not just about creating on the external factors. It's about creating internally, because let me tell you something. I'm showing up and I am this person that is deserving of this timeline. That's what it is. I'm showing up and I am, everything is in a now. All you have to do is tune into it. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that your heart is on, whatever dreams you have, whatever it is, it's there. It's there. Something is blocking you from attracting it. And once I started to heal my heart space, what I truly wanted in my heart, this little girl that always, no matter if she lived in the projects or whatever, she still seen herself living in the country. I started to open my heart and I was able to attract those situations into my life as my adult self. As my adult self. I moved here on nothing but a fucking knowing. A knowing. That's it. Knowing, I didn't know when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen. That's what I'm saying. Yo, I've done bent time. I just bent time. I just bent time by doing healing work. That's what I just did. Time is an illusion. So I'm in my mind like, oh yeah, I got to do all of this. I got to do all of that for me to go live in Atlanta or live here or live in the hot states or live in Florida. Florida and Atlanta has always been my two, not Atlanta, Georgia. Florida and Georgia has always been my two places. But when I put time on it, time was like, oh yeah, you're going to have to wait a while. You're going to have to go get some money. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. Bent time. Time said, here you go. What we doing? What you doing? I'm here right now, y'all. And listen, you can do it. Believe in yourself. You can do it. And believe that everything that you need is going to come to you. Everything that you need is going to come to you right now, right? And I'm talking this into existence because I know that this is happening for me because it's happening in a good way. Okay? The other day, I needed to go to the store. And I didn't have money on my debit card to do Lyft. So I wrote in a group I'm in, and I'm like, hey, is there any cabs around? Or can somebody, take me to the store and I'll pay them? One person commented on this on this post, and I posted it anonymously. So I go on his page or whatever, I'm saying? I'm not feeling a bad vibe for him. He starts taking me to the store. Me and him start to, talk. We get, a cool relationship, a cool connection. And I'm going to start, a food business. I got to do something to, sustain myself, etc. And I'm going to start doing a food business. I'm going to start creating content as a single mom of 6, like living in Florida, just to give other women that inspiration, overall. So if you see this video, like support is free. I'll subscribe to you, etc., etc., etc. 12 on the timing, you know what I'm saying? But yesterday, right, he said, I'm selling my van. I'm like, huh? right? Because, you know, I know that that's his only car. So I'm like, you selling your van? He was like, yeah, I'm selling my van. He said that I had it up there for $2,000, but I'm selling it for 13. Now I'm like, okay. I look at the van and I'm like, damn, this is enough space for me and my kids. I'm not in a state of mind where I gotta be flashy no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in that era anymore. But I'm like, damn, this will really work for me. But I'm like, why is this being brought up in my path? This is being brought up in my path for some reason. The only person I know here is selling a minivan. Yesterday I got a tap on my shoulder and it said, create the experience that you want. And that experience, honestly, is to get that van, right? Because that van and him selling that van isn't happening at this moment right now. The only person that I know in Lehigh. And guess what? I'm going to work on it. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to be like, yo, I got that van. And I'm going to call it. And I don't got the 1,300, but I'm going to call it into my existence. That if somebody doesn't get that van by the time I get it, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. So trust yourself that whatever you need is going to happen. I'm going to say this, though. The first 2 months was rough. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I'm in a new space. I'm paranoid. Like, I don't know if somebody going to come rob me. Other than I'm here. You know, I can't move that much. I'm in stillness. I never really sat in stillness. I've always been in survival. So it was like, yo, this was a perfect time because now I'm about to elevate you, but I had to sit you down. Understand something. Once you get into stillness, stillness is when it all makes sense. You know what I'm saying? On a deeper level, it all starts to make sense on a deeper level. And anytime I was called to get into isolation, I was called to make a choice, right? You got a bad choice and you got a good choice. But you intuitively get that instruction to make a better choice. And anytime I never made that better choice, I had to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I had to be forced out of my comfort zone. This time, I made the choice. What you about to do? Oh, I'm about to make the choice. I'm about to make a choice because I'm about to make that choice. I'm about to make the choice that I never see nobody else make. See, the thing is, we don't like to make the choices. Like, the people around us didn't make the choices, so we feel like we aren't worthy or deserving or capable enough to make the choices that nobody made. But I'm going to stand on that. And I'm going to tell you, as a mom of 6 kids, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I'm perfect. I'm not going to say that. That'll be me capping, and I'm not going to come up here and do that. But what I'm going to say is, when you really surrender, when you really been through so much shit, you learn to play the passenger, I want to say. You learn to pay the passenger. And when I say that, it's surrendering to a higher knowing, right? Because there's something above us all, right? There's something above us all. And if you really want to get technical, there's God within us. So if we allow ourselves to do what it is that we naturally want to do, and we don't allow the ego to create resistance, and we don't allow, attachments, etc., to overpower us, there's a knowing within you that are going to do the thing that you're supposed to do. Once you clear out, it all gets louder. You know what I'm saying? Once you clear out the distractions. You know what I'm saying? You clear out, the eating habits. You clear out the fucking mind, the thinking habits. Listen, you want to be delusional for something? Be delusional about those dreams. Be delusional about those dreams and don't put no expectations on it and just flow. Just flow. Everything that you truly need will come to you. When I say that I moved here with $350, I did. And I'm not saying that this is going to be your story. I'm not saying that you was unfortunately not financially secured enough, to make the move in what you want to make. But if you have the security, make the move. Make the move. If you have the financial security, make the move. If you have the support, in these other states in which you're interested in, make the move. Don't not make the move, because the move wouldn't have been there in the first place if it wasn't for you to make. I think that's yeah, that was good. That was you know what I'm saying. So to the moms, you know what I'm saying, that really just want to experience something new and different, listen, it's there, baby. It's there. You putting a resistance on it because you're thinking about it too much. This is something that your mind can't even fucking fathom. This is something that you just have to energetically tune into. This is not something your mind is going to tell you, you got to do this, you got to do that. Your mind's going to tell you, oh, you should have this and that. Your mind is going to tell you that. But when you surrender to a higher knowing and you step with intentions and you know what I'm saying, and you clean up your spiritual hygiene, or, you know what I'm saying, you clean up yourself and you doing the righteous things, why do you not think that that's not what you're going to attract into your life? You feel what I'm saying? Like, for me, really surrendering and not wanting to control. You know what I'm saying? Surrendering and not wanting to control. And that led me here. That led me here in Florida in a beautiful, beautiful home that I'm really not killing myself, you know what I'm saying, to go afford. Like, I'm not, out here like these people, you know what I'm saying, I'm able to sit home and create content, and, you know what I'm saying, I don't have the best financials, but guess what? I'm bringing my creativity out. I'm speaking my truth, and I know that this is going to create abundance. For what, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to create abundance. Abundance ain't you going out there and working a job and doing this and then retiring and then buying a house. Listen, baby, these are our birthrights. So utilize whatever you can to, expand your life. And don't let society tell you nothing about whatever you receive, because, baby, it's yours. Understand that shit. It's a mind game, but it's yours. So utilize whatever it is that you need to, you know what I'm saying, to better yourself. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be home with your children, to be able to have time freedom, financial freedom. And don't let nobody make you feel bad about that. You know what I'm saying? We all have a starting point. This was my beginning point. You feel what I'm saying? This was my beginning point. My spirit team, Devon knew, listen, I need this girl in Florida with security over her head. So you guess what? Listen, I want this person out her motherfucking life anyway. So we going to get you to clear the scene, and something bigger going to become behind you, because she learned to alchemize that situation. Motherfucker, she done took that power back. You're powerless now. So I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to get her what she wants, and then I'm going to get her where she needs to be. And I feel like right here in Florida is where my journey is beginning overall. Well, the soul awakening part of it. It's like, I know the trauma. I know that. I know what I got to heal through. Now it's like, okay, now I'm really on a journey back to self. You know what I'm saying? I'm really on a journey back to my creative self. You know what I'm saying? That child self before, things transpire. So it's like, yo, just having the luxury, you feel what I'm saying, of just being here, being in this beautiful home, walking out this home, you know what I'm saying, and knowing that I'm not killing myself, or I'm not, draining my battery, and I'm utilizing my energy for the things that matter. You feel what I'm saying? So mothers, yeah, get out there. You feel what I'm saying? No, it's going to be uncomfortable, but uncomfortability is where real growth happens. I could sit here and say, yo, I've been uncomfortable for the last 2 months, but guess what? I'm doing shit that I never even did before. You feel what I'm saying? Now it's like, yo, my back is against the wall, and not in a masculine way, but in a way like, yo, what you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Well, what you going to bring in for yourself? What is it that you love to do? What did you love to do, creating from a heart space that you could, like, you know what I'm saying, bring in some type of, income, etc. I love to cook. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in the energy of cooking, that shit gonna be fire. But I know that that's what I love to do. So when I'm cooking a food, it's really me cooking it with love. You feel what I'm saying? And attracting that good experience. You know what I'm saying? That good tasting experience to the physical. You know what I'm saying? So all I want to say is to the mamianas, you feel what I'm saying? Listen, y'all got this. Don't let nobody never tell you nothing different. You feel what I'm saying? Be the bold one. Be the one that set the examples. Be the one that say, yo, listen, I got to do something different. And that's not to say, you know what I'm saying, that whatever floats your boat is whatever floats your boat. But I got to go really try to make something of my life experience. You feel what I'm saying? I can't be codependent. I can't be codependent on having people around me because I feel like I'm not worthy enough, you know what I'm saying, to deal with, certain situations, or, I don't have the ability to overcome certain things. You feel what I'm saying? Because you don't want to be in the energy of any and everyone. You don't want to be in the energy of any and everyone. You know what I'm saying? I feel like all in all, be 222 as I'm saying this on my damn stove for some reason, whatever. You don't want to be codependent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be codependent on people. Like, you don't want to. Like, you want to have your own experience, because then when you be codependent on people, it's kind of like they are like the second producer, you know what I'm saying, in your life experience. And it's not time for that. It's time for us to just, you know what I'm saying, explore and do the things that nobody around us did. You know what I'm saying? Like me being here in Florida, it's like, yo, listen, I'm here, you feel what I'm saying? And I hope that, you know, people in my family, etc., they look at me and be like, yo, that girl went out there with 2 kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, 6 kids, you feel what I'm saying? Like, with $350 in her pocket, I could do that shit too. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I could do it too. I want you to say it. You could do it too, because we can do it. We putting limitations on ourselves. We putting limitations on ourselves, and we giving motherfuckers more access to us than they really need. So I hope that this message served you well. My apologies for breaking up the video again, because I be tripping. No, I just don't be having the storage. But y'all see I got my little light on. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put my little wig on. I got a little stain on my shirt, but it is what it is. Listen, I'm not going to makeup dress up. Listen, get you a journal. Get you a beautiful, beautiful journal. I feel like journaling definitely brings out your creativity. Journaling. I love journaling. I love journaling. But peace and love, y'all. Have an amazing day. And as I said, my intention is for this message to reach each and every individual that's ready to make a move that they never made before, a move that they're really not comfortable with. There's so much growth in being uncomfortable. So make the move. Make the move. Make the move.